Hello everybody, my name is Summer, and today I'm going to talk to you about part 2 of the book Teaching the Standards, How to Blend Common Core State Standards into Secondary Instruction by Harriet Porton. So her main argument in part 2 of the book was to talk about the implementation of the Common Core State Standards, or how to use them within the 4 different aspects of Common Core. So English, Language Arts, Mathematics, Social Studies, and Science. She outlines the importance of each section of Common Core implementation. And for this one, I'd like to first talk about science. For the science section, she focuses on the importance of teachers preparing students to absorb complex text. For the math section, she explained how important it is for teachers to teach students the value of perseverance. Similarly, she identified the need for students to be able to understand mathematical vocabulary and the importance for students to identify relevant and irrelevant information in math problems. This way they can eliminate and consolidate relevant information to make the problem easier to solve. For English Language Arts, she spent a significant amount of time delineating the factors associated with text comprehension, including challenging text, vocabulary development, and the need to emphasize the context associated with historical text. Concerning challenging text, the author pointed out that students must have and must use challenging text in reading, writing, and speaking activities in order to fully develop the rigor needed to meet the Common Core State Standards. And the first part of Part 2, on page 59, there's a quote there by Horace Mann that states, "A teacher who is attempting to teach without inspiring the pupil with a desire to learn is hammering on cold iron." And here too the author places importance on the responsibility of the teacher to work to motivate the students during reading activities by incorporating reader activities such as internet sources, YouTube videos, etc. The second part of the emphasis for text comprehension was vocabulary development. Under vocabulary development, this should be incorporated as part of the teacher's daily lesson plan. By identifying the 3 levels and incorporating each, the student's vocabulary base will continue to grow. The levels of vocabulary defined as number 1, everyday language, number 2 is academic language, and number 3 is content-specific language. The third part of the English Language Arts focus should be the need to emphasize the context associated with historical text. So this indicates that the importance of not only the historical information, but the context and the time frame associated with the historical text. And this leads me into my final section of the Common Core, which is Social Studies. So for the Social Studies section, the author addresses the importance of teaching students to think as historians and to consider how the student would construct meaning when reading a document. So factors that the student should consider include motive of the writer, purpose of the writing, goals that frame the primary source author's social, political, economic life, and also the influence of religious organizations during that particular era that the document was written. This type of deep and reflective thinking brings students into a depth of knowledge level that will produce better comprehension of the historical outcomes of that area. So the next part we're going to get into is how the ideas presented are relevant to the practice as a secondary educator. So the ideas presented across the Common Core spectrum are relevant in business, as students must know and understand context to be better learners and also to be better citizens. This provides a sheltered way of introducing students to the concept of understanding an idea without accepting it, and the concept of understanding a different point of view without needing to have harsh criticism simply because it opposes their own views. This reading relates to the concepts presented in this book relate to assignments such as the Civic Action Project, which was the lesson plan we prepared for our students under the Social Sciences umbrella. And the relation to the other readings that we have done, pretty much everywhere we're going, is having teachers focus on how to incorporate the Common Core state standards into their own curriculum to ensure that they're meeting the requirements of the state. All right, thank you for your time.